Hi. Here we are. Okay. So let's. There he is looking very innocent. How is everybody
Hallo.
today? We know better. It is so hot. So I hope no one can hear my fan. Bean was saying a while ago, my fan might be going, oh, look, it is hot. It's a balmy like 30 degrees in here. It's like a sauna. It is
Yeah.
not nice. So
Yeah, right now where I live, it's 23, but it doesn't feel like 23 at all.
yeah,
It's very,
it's
very hot. Yeah.
it's ridiculously hot. So um, yeah, it's very quiet today. I think everybody's busy in the main Discord, expressing themselves in a polite and civilized way.
Absolutely.
I was in there earlier. I was just like, wow. I mean, I popped over and some slurs, just like, well, I was like, no, no, no. So yeah, we don't play. We can't play that way.
No.
It's not a nice way. Um, People need to remember PvPs for the sands, not for the discords.
A good one. That's a
Just
good one.
save the smack talk for out there. Not everybody here is consenting, right?
Mhm.
Anyway, how are you today, being other than hot? You doing okay?
Hot. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Um, the whole day Funcom seems to have some problems with their stuff, but it's fine. Like all the time up here, I see just some things going wrong while asking their servers, "Hey, which servers are up?" "Oh, I can't tell you." "Oh, okay, thank you. I'm going to ask in 50 seconds again." But no, no, it's been great.
So yeah, the FLS doing FLS things.
Is doing very strange things and has been doing for the past only like 10 or 12 hours, so it's all fine.
That's not good.
Mhm.
That's not good at all.
Yes.
Um.
No, but I'm good.
Okay.
I'm very good.
Okay. Always good news.
Mhm.
I got your mug today. I see.
Mhm.
I have a variant of that one up on the shop that is yours is unique, but I've got a variant of it.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. My son designed that mug. For those of you who don't know, it was a well earned mug.
You show it again. That's
Yeah.
that's me. That's my base. That's Shayulut hitting my base. While yeah, let's not talk about it.
Yeah. That was one of the times I almost rage quit. The other times I got stuck in the Odom early on when the map was wrong. Do you remember?
Ah, yeah.
You could get in, but you couldn't get out. And I was on a
Yes.
bike, and I was like really like, yeah.
Number how many of my bases? The last time I counted, I stopped at 18, and after that I stopped counting. So many
Many.
bases were eaten.
You spawn in, and you're like, where's my stuff? Anywho, for those of you who are new, I think we've got a few new lurkers coming by. My name is Meg. I'm also known as DeadWomanWalking. I've been gaming for a bit. Um, I think every time I think about it, it makes me a little like, wow. I was looking at my games up there, thinking about it. I haven't played Cyberpunk 2020 in a while. You know, it's and we've got a whole new thing. Um, I was very fortunate to get in on early on the Dune beta. It was great. Oh, thank you guys. Um, Had a good time and learned many things about gaming communities and how they form organically. Killed.
Oh yes. Fucking Derek.
Bean, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Wien. I'm from Germany. I think you can hear that and everybody else. Um, um, yeah, I've been playing video games my whole life. I've been a software developer and overall nerd when it comes to tech for also my whole life, but programming for around 20. Wait, how old I am? I'm becoming 35. So about 23, 24 years I've been a software developer. I've been working on some tools related to Dune, which I'm not going to mention this time because I've been working on stuff, and it right now it doesn't look that good from the outside, but on the inside, I've been working on some very great things, which I will reveal soon, hopefully someday, soon.
Soon. You have
Yeah.
to say it with the italics. Soon.
Oh, and I've been in the beta, which we don't have anymore, since December of 2023. So I've been in the beta for a long while when the game was not the same game we are playing today.
No.
I think we are going to talk about what's been going on since launch. Yeah. Let's just keep it at that for now.
A lot has gone on. The game has only been officially live for 16 days. It's been a wild.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At the end, because that's not our first key deactivation. But yeah, at the end there they send an email or a thing that pops up, and your key has been deactivated, and it's just sitting there. Every time I open up Steam, it pops up. I'm like, I'm not ready yet.
Nope.
I'm not ready yet. I don't know when, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, same. like all the time when I open Steam and you have that thing there. Hey, you have an account alert. Like, no, I don't. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, that was a hard pop up to see. Yeah, I mean it was hard the first time seeing it because it was just like no.
Yeah, the first time, the second time, the first I believe 6 or 7 times that happened, and each time you didn't know. Hey, are they going to send me a key again? Okay, luckily I've been re-invited every time. I don't know why. Let's be honest. But yeah, we know. We knew that this is going to happen again. It's been announced. It's going to happen again, and it had to happen someday. I think the first time that popped up was like 2 days ago, I believe, 2 or 3 days.
Like 2 days ago.
They revoked our keys, but yeah, I'm not going to do that for them.
Normally, alerts like that would drive me bonkers just to have it there, but I'm not ready yet. I'll have to get ready eventually, but today's not that day. There may come a day when we click the button, but today is not
today.
How about I have a PowerPoint because I'm a nerd.
PowerPoints. Let's go.
What would we do without the PowerPoints? Oh goodness, that's not.
Tab on.
Let me see if I can hit the button. There we go. I can only prep so much before it makes me make choices, and so I have to memorize things.
The first 2 people are buttons.
I think there's actually a emoji now that I put up on Twitch for the buttons. It should be there, I think. But yeah, this is some of the concept art. You and I were talking about the concept art the other day and how absolutely stunning that art was.
I mean, we were not talking about the game concept art, but the movie concept art, because yesterday, I finally received the 2 art books for the movies, for the first 2 movies, since we don't have any other movies. Yeah, and with some very nice shots, with concept art, and yeah, just beautiful. And for the longest time, we had, I think, only that picture while loading in.
Yeah.
Which is still absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Everything in this game is yeah. Next, so this people ask me about this all the time. Some tools where you can find statuses.
Right now, maybe don't visit the first one. It's not like seriously. It's from the outside. It doesn't look that great. It's not very usable. I'm working on it.
It's getting there. But all of these tools have functionality, and yeah, especially as things progress. I like How2's tool. I think I don't think it looks bad on the user end. I think it's very clean and uncluttered, and I prefer that. But I'm dorky that way. They dropped some really great stats,
yes.
And this was nice to see a million sales, which means Iggy owes us a tattoo.
Yes.
I think there was someone else in the office who also committed, but I forget who it was. So we hopefully will be seeing some ink, fresh ink soon. I know he's already got a couple, so hopefully.
Oh yes, yeah.
Some fresh ink soon. 121 million building pieces used. That's a lot of building. People are doing some crazy stuff.
I mean, sorry that I have to go back on that one. 1 million people have the game now. In 16 days? I mean, not really 16. We had the 5 days head start, but still, that's huge. That's really huge.
And that is an accomplishment that I hope that they are still really proud of. It's been a ride. It is. Oh, Presto, I owe Iggy a video of me eating Hawaiian pizza. I look forward to seeing that.
Yes.
We should all get to partake in your humble pie, your humble pizza pie. I find it interesting. 66,000 people died in the sandstorm.
How?
To be fair, I popped into the new test client yesterday, and I managed. You do the run from the worm's going to get the top through. You run, and I had to log off. I was like, okay, I'm in, and I had to step away, and I came back, and I logged back into a storm.
I am.
In your jammies, and you got no water, and yeah. So it can happen. Also, people remember came for Dune and not necessarily survival games. So there's a learning curve that I think, out of a million people, 66,000 people are not survival gamers. That's okay.
And also, what you shouldn't forget is each time you're on the overmap and you're flying back into Hagabasin, you just spawn. You don't know if there's a sandstorm going to it in seconds, maybe, which I had too many times.
Yes.
Where you just spawn in,
and you're standing
there, right there, and all the way up there's a sandstorm. Nice.
Yeah, I made a habit of spawning into the Odom, because at least then you could pocket it really fast and run into some shelter, probably before you go into Down But Not Out, most of the time. Not always, but it's something. We already have 500,000 Thopters flying around.
I wouldn't say already, because there are 1 million players playing, and we only have a little less than 518,000 Thopters. Okay,
some people are not there yet.
No, too slow.
Spirit God, go faster. 800,000 deaths to Shialud, though. That's
a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people going, I need spice sand, and then they get eaten. I think that's.
Yeah. Since I see a comment from Kay, maybe of those 507,585, 4 of those. No, 9 of those are mine, and I only have 2 left. Maybe, I don't know why. So yeah. Oh god, we got to both the stat and a large percentage of... Or the gap crossing. Yeah, when it comes to Shai Hulud, I would say most people died while trying to get out of the starting area.
A lot of people cross that first time in the wrong spot.
Oh, yes.
And don't realize, especially they'll try from like the wreck and try to go straight north because they see the quest point for the anvil and they think if I just go straight north here, and
you shouldn't go there.
You shouldn't go there. That's a good way to die. There's you learn to island hop. You learn, and once you learn the route, it's harder to get eaten. But with so many people out on the sand,
yes,
the worm is just aggroed all the time.
Yeah.
So, and like in the gap, there's the falling crashes too. So I mean, there's this constant agitation. You can't take it for granted. I find it interesting. They've sold 1 million copies. When it says ventured beyond Haiga Basin, does it mean the south, or have left and gone to the deep desert, or have left to go to the hubs? It's a little vague.
I don't know what that means, honestly. Maybe they mean the starting area, or they mean the map Haga Basin. So I hope they didn't make the mistake of calling the starting region just Haga Basin, because that's straight up wrong. But
that part was confusing, and it's always been a little confusing for people, because they'll ask a question about how do I get out of the thing, and it's like, well, where exactly are you? And then I can give you better advice. I'm not surprised Bene Gesserit is the #1 starting group. I think I think people want to be Jedis on Dune, and that's kind of the way to do it.
Yep.
And throw in the HBO show. I think there's this interest in the witchy martial artist.
But overall, it's really actually I would have expected, since there was a show and the BG have some sort of superpower, we would see like 40%, 50% choosing that class. But no, it seems rather
also I think there's
all over the place.
It's skewed a little meta, because after the creator weekend and the open weekend, everybody knew not to take Trooper as their first one, because it was so easy to get when you start your new character. So you pick something else. It occurs to me, I don't even know. I've picked Bene Gesserit for so long, I can't even remember what the Bene Gesserit training arc is like. I don't remember what it is.
I may have the same with Swordmaster. The first time I joined the beta, I just chose Swordmaster, and I've never tried anything else. So I don't know what the first Swordmaster.
The sword one's pretty easy, but I don't remember the Bene Gesserit. Because the very first time I played, I was thinking I need something I'm going to survive with, and I went Trooper first, and then regretted that because I was like, the Trooper's right there, and it took me ages to find the other trainers.
Yeah, when it comes to Swordmaster, I don't even know where the first Swordmaster dude is.
He's in Pinnacle Trading Post.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know.
The Bene Gesserit quest sends you to the Odom. Oh. Ow. That would be rough. And find books, but I know where those books are. I've seen those books. That's owie. That's painful. Joel's mean.
Yep.
Joel is very, very mean.
There's some books about the Lisan Alga Ipu, wherever that is. No idea.
That is a lot of probes. 25 million kilometers. That also includes the deep desert.
I mean, that number is so big. It would have been nice if they would have given some kind of scale. Like, okay, that's 25 million, 25 billion square kilometers are like 45 hagabasins or something like that. Like some scale to know how
It,
big that actually is. That would have been nice, but it
the,
sounds a lot since it's million. It has to be a lot, right?
the deep desert is about 500 square kilometers.
Okay, that's big.
They say
That's a
just
lot.
for like the deep desert, and the deep desert's 9 times the size of Hago Basin. So you're the programmer. I can see the numbers kind of sort of thinking. I'm just like, it's just big. I accept.
It's big. It's just a lot. Let's stick with that.
It is big. Um, that's a lot of deaths in the deep desert. There's a lot of PvP um, going on out there. Plus, the labs are pretty rough.
1 second, I have to mute someone for a second. Okay,
Okay.
let's go on.
Do I want to know what you're doing over there?
No, I'm just memeing on someone. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Um, that's a lot of deaths, but I wonder how many of those are PvP and how many of those are like going into a lab and realizing that you are woefully not prepared.
Yeah, like your first time you have your first copter and you think, hey, I'm going to the DD, and because it has been, but let's stick with the sheet wall of the DD is PvE zone. So, and there are labs. Let's go to the labs because they are labs. They have to be easy, right? Right? They are
They're
not.
not.
They are very, very hard when you're going there solo.
I
And
remember there's a small wreck on the.
hello.
Hello. There's there's a small wreck on the shield wall there. There's a similar one on the western shield wall where you have to go straight through, knock the rock off or whatever the key is, and then go back in. It's not very big at all. And I went in there with Vega in the beta, and he had been running it, and they did that change where like, okay, we want them to be more difficult, and we started in there, and he's like, oh no,
The first change, they were way too hard. They were way too hard.
And then they were easy enough that I could go in there with somebody, and it was I could hold my own. I wasn't completely in the back. And then they changed it, and I'm like, no. They need to come out here where I can snipe at them a little bit, because at that time, the sniper rifle, 2 or 3 hits, you could go through a shield with it.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
Oh, long time ago. That's a long time ago, Mac.
I know. But yeah, it used to be, I guess, a stronger weapon. I understand why they balanced it. I have no hard feelings or anything about it, but I understand why they did it. 52,000 Moadib. If you want a little pet Moadib corpse, you got to go up to where the spice blows are. You'll see them when you're gathering spice.
You also see them when you get the normal sand, the normal flower sand.
Yep.
Sometimes, most of the times, you see them on spice, but to be honest, although I've played the game maybe a few hours, I had no idea you could get fluids from Muad'Dibs. Like the last time I checked, you could make Muad'Dibs into things you eat and drink for some reason, but I had no idea you could use them for water. Like,
I was fully proud of myself. I discovered you can use, all the hanging bodies that are all over the place. You can get water from those too.
Yeah, I have no idea why people are doing that, but it seems to be important enough to put it in that graphic. So
when you're early on and you're desperate for blood, you can get, it's not very much, but you can get blood from the dead, like the ones inside the lab number 2. You can get blood from those guys. It's not very much. It's like a third of what you would normally get in your body.
Yeah.
But hey, that's a lot of guilt. I found it interesting for the Chris knives, it's 101,000 Chris knives versus how many people got eaten by the worm.
Mhm.
So either those are someone's dying multiple times, or they're dying before they finish the fourth trial.
Oh, you're right. Yes, because you don't know how to craft a quiz knife before the fourth trial.
Yep.
While we are at the topic, Mac, are we going to talk about it later, or since we are already talking about the trials?
Bring it up.
Are you going to talk about the trials, Mac, someday in
Yes.
the future?
Yes, Dean. I am planning on putting together a podcast very, very soon.
Really?
That's going to cover. We're going to start dipping a little bit deeper into the lore.
We?
And
Who is we?
I am volunteering you. You are going to be my co-host for this. I hope. Nerd.
Yep. So we are going to start, or we are going to try and see how it goes. Each week we are going to have a podcast, I believe. We
That's the
agreed
plan.
on each week. Since right now we are only at the start, but we get a lot of changes, a lot of news. We are going to keep it at around 2 hours. If we need more time, we will talk as long as we want and need. But yes, the first part is going to be about news around the game, and the second part will be theme based. Like the next week we are going to start with the whole story. We are going to start with the trials. We didn't agree on how many trials we are going to cover, if we are going to do the first 4 or maybe the whole first storyline, the first act.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. We are still working on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because there's so much, and I don't want to skim over.
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
So-
Because I have a feeling that's we need to talk about a lot, and there's a lot of important information fucking everywhere.
There
So,
is. There is. Joel is a genius. Him and the writing team and everybody doing.
No, Mac, no. No, we are not saying those bad words. We hate him with a passion. Okay, let's agree on that one. No, I'm not going to start. Let's continue. We have a PowerPoint, Mac.
We have a PowerPoint. Okay.
Yes.
Guilds are great. I like having them for support because, I don't mind being the farmer and gathering the day-to-day stuff and making, throwing the body in the still or wind traps in.
Moment. I just want to use that. I believe you always get the tooth. Because each time I've been eaten, I've always received the tooth. Someone else can say something about it, but each time I've been eaten.
I think the percentage initially started before they made the changes to the fourth trial. When the trial, now with the changes that they made to the fourth trial at launch, because it was different, and then they moved it, and it's what it is now. I think at that point, it became you would get one.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that sure.
But it's a bit rude. Your soul is empty. You kind of suck, so I'm going to spit you back out. That's.
Yep.
You're not worthy. Get back out there. It's a little rude. Speaking of nerdy, and talking about Awu last week or last time, and how that AI voice was a placeholder, and how much I know some people are really into voice acting. This guy has done tons of voices. This guy is an actor. He's actually in, I think, Walking Dead and a couple other shows. And this guy, it was the first one I've kind of noticed because he's also in American Gods. He's in Mandalorian. He's in The Boys. So someone's calling me a VA fanboy. Sam Witwer. He just doesn't know it yet, but he doesn't know. Honestly, I had looked because I was curious who the voice actor was for the trooper trainer. Because I was like, it sounds like Liam Neeson, but I'm like, it can't be Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
Meine Güte. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Sam Witwer is the best. Sam Witwer is everywhere, and I love that he's so nerdy. But yes, this is only some of the voice acting.
Mac, we may have to talk about spoilers because you have a spoiler right there.
Oh.
Yes. But
yeah.
Just keep going.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So this is from the AMA, and they moved really, really, really quickly on this, a lot faster than I expected.
Yeah, same.
They dropped the open test yesterday, and then bam, here's the thing. So this PowerPoint was made 2 days ago, and stuff happened.
Some things have changed since then.
I know. I started this, and I'm like,
and to be honest, we are not used for changes to happen that fast.
No.
Some might say they have been working on that for a while. I heard from someone. I'm not going to mention names. Fuck you. Because they may have seen that coming. Because we may have told them for a year. But yeah, that's the change to people who have been in the closed beta. That change shouldn't be surprising, to be honest.
No.
And for the handful of people where that's surprising, yeah. I don't want to say too much bad stuff.
Kilo, you need to act like collectively surprised.
Yeah, but I mean, wait, which part is that? I actually didn't read the text you were showing. Oh yeah, just keep going on. I have more to say.
Yeah, we will. Again, this is also from that leads into today's patch notes. Today. Things that would be implemented. The Scout Thopters are going to be changed. How they operate. Rockets are going to change to kind of equalize. I think this was to give people who were just there to go farm and have inventory a little chance to get away, because if I'm in an aluminium thopter and you're in a plastic thopter, you can outrun me straight up, nose to nose. But by putting the rocket launchers on there, that slows you down to an equitable speed, and it gives me a chance to actually get away if I could fly. This, figuratively speaking,
which is I didn't want to say anything, but you can't. But normally, let's talk about the normal player, which I don't want to say that you're not normal, but let's be honest here for a second, Mac. We like you the way you are, but we have to talk. Yeah, okay.
Special.
We have to talk about things. You in combat. Let's start with that. No.
Yeah, but they also point out that there's going to be a new infantry rocket launcher. So we're going to be channeling our inner Zantera and shooting at people. So also keep in mind,
which should give people a chance to when they are shot down or when they are on the ground, that they can still fight ornithopters without requiring the resources from the DD they can't get because they get ganged or just something like that.
So this, um,
The inner Centaur.
also keeping in mind, things can change. This is not the
Yes.
first change to combat that they've done. This will not be the last pass at combat they've done. They probably will have lots of combat changes in the next 3 to 9 months. Just
Yes.
the Zantira thing should not be a spoiler if you've played the first 5 minutes. Okay, that's the opening. Just saying, that's not a spoiler.
Just wait a second. All the changes sounded good, and the best thing is you don't get stuck in a corpse now when you. Yes, that. Oh,
I hated that one.
oh, I hated that
That's
one.
a terrible way to die. That is
Yes.
a terrible way to die. Reddit being Reddit. This is a massive step in the right direction. It's a massive step in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and that screenshots is a few days old.
Yeah.
The right direction post has many more upvotes now, so the majority of people like that. Yeah,
I think
Go
ahead.
I still don't understand how people had the perception that Dune Awakening has some huge PvP background. That may have been they didn't. I wouldn't say lie, but they haven't said outright. I mean, they have, but not outright, that this is not a PvP game. Dune Awakening is not a PvP game. It's a PvE game with a PvP feature. PvP is not endgame.
For the last year in the open Discord, this question comes up like a bajillion times, and the response from those of us who had been in there and had those conversations with the devs when Joel came in, or Hefe or Iggy, or watching any of the content that they sent to us, the dev streams and that's the directs on stuff, was this is not going to be a sweaty PvP game. If you want Rust or Conan, you will not find it here, and you will be disappointed. This is a survival game that happens to have some PvP elements, but they were adamant that we wouldn't have to PvP, and then but there were people who were just insisting that if there's any PvP in it, it must be that way.
The main thing, and I'm going to pull up K here for a second. Did I click the right thing? And nothing appeared. That in each trailer was heavily PvP centered.
Yes.
And when those trailers were released, while we were in the beta and in the beta Discord, we were screaming like, horrible trailers! Like, these are horrible trailers. These are not good trailers. No.
I haven't seen any of that.
So I hope that marketing got a little
yeah.
Maybe that hasn't been the right way. And I mean, on one side, I want to tell those people that that they are not stupid, but that they didn't read the room right when they were playing the game.
Yeah.
But the marketing needs some work in hindsight. But hindsight doesn't help you at that point. You have people who are not happy about the game, which sucks. And you always have some people who are still adamant. Although now Joel outright says this is not a PvP game, who are still outright saying this is a PvP game. Like, okay, you are just wrong and you need to go play something else, like Rust or EFT or something.
Yeah. It's not. I was telling you beforehand, someone in the open Discord today was insisting to me that I don't know the lore. I've not read the books. I don't play the game. I've not read the movies, because obviously the game is faction versus faction PvP combat. And I'm like, Okay, it's none of that. It's meant to be. The Landsroute has always been stated is meant to be the PV to be the end game, and Joel said as much in the AMA that the Landsroute is supposed to be the. And then he also said it hasn't been clear. We haven't been clear on that one, and it also needs some TLC and some love, but it's always meant to be political. But he was like, no, you obviously don't know anything. It's supposed to be this faction of warfare. That's the whole thing. It's warfare, and I'm like, no. It's the politics. That's why there's the Canley rules, is to keep us from open warfare. It's meant to be political. But yeah, apparently I know nothing.
Yeah, the main issue with that one, which we may or may not have been screaming for a long time now, that a huge part of the Landsward requires items you can only craft with resources from the DD, which... Come on.
I know, and they were like, well, people should sell it. And I'm like, if you have an advantage in having a thing, why would you sell it?
And right now it's been a little over 16 days. You can go to your local market. I've been keeping an eye on the exchange. And yeah, it doesn't look that good right now.
Most aren't selling it.
No.
I'm going to bring this back up because this has changed a little bit since then, in that now you can move around your world to other sieges. But somebody was also complaining about, I saw several complaints about the overland map being boring or useless. And I think what they don't understand is how the server structure works. When you leave Haga Basin, you are in your little server and you go to the overland map, which is a different server, and that's its purpose, to let you move to a different one. And one thing that Joel told us in the QA that we did with him was one of the reasons that we aren't likely to get banking stuff linked to the Haga Basin is this structure slows bots down. Having to, one, buy the game, it'll never be free to play because that's a hurdle. And then two, making it hop to different structures to access the banking and market system slows the process down. You've got to be smarter than the typical farming bot. So this is meant to keep that to a dull roar. But also it will have, for people who haven't gotten very far, there's more stuff on the map. You just haven't seen it yet. And as you play more, you'll see more. And there'll be DLCs. There's 2 DLCs that are location-based, and I'm going to bet that they're on that map. Just saying. That map.
Maybe like, I don't know, something from the lore. Windsec, maybe? Windsec. Where's Windsec?
Where?
Where is Windsec?
We've heard smugglers talking about Windsec.
And for people may or may not, I mean, last time you talked about it with that one guy that works at Funcom. I don't know what his name is, and I hate him. But some people may have looked at the files. Where's Windsec? I want Windsec, please.
There's obviously nobody looking at the files.
No, absolutely not.
No, people would never do such a thing. But the overland map allows us to easily move to other servers because the structure, one of the reasons that we don't have privately hosted servers like we did for Conan is the structure is very complicated. And this overland map gives us a route to make it simpler. In theory, it's...
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to read out loud what's been said in the chat, but not. No, I'm not going to.
He's going to behave. I did for community stuff. Paolo's here. We can't.
Hello. Hello, Paolo.
I grabbed some stuff from Reddit, which I was trying to avoid some of the more heated threads. And again, I made most of this a couple of days ago, so it's not. It's
things changed since then.
Changed.
A lot.
Things have changed.
Oh, That one I love.
I love this one.
I mean,
Someone,
each time.
Hmm?
I mean, each time when I build a base, I have some water there
Yep.
and some resources for, I don't know, when you need it. But that's smart. That's very smart.
And I think that some people may not realize how generous that is, because that is how many lights they have sacrificed for that sign.
Yes.
It's not about the gas. It's
Or
about
the
the
limits.
lights.
Or the limits. I mean, we've been told multiple times during the beta that they are going to work on the limits. They haven't. Please, can you work on the limits?
Yeah, that is a lot of lights for someone to put up as a kindness to their neighbors.
I want to
And
pinpoint
that made
something.
it extra. I grabbed that from Reddit, so I have no idea who did it. I forget who posted it. So if you see,
Mac, next time we need
I will-
credits, please.
I
We
will-
need to work on that.
I
Okay.
do. I will-
Next time. Like, I'm sorry, but whoever took that screenshot and built that, because the screenshot seems to be from someone who just passed by and saw it.
Yes,
Thank you, and that's amazing. Thank
that
you.
is amazing. That is
And related to water circuits, that was mentioned in the AMA. I mean, we had that in the very beginning of the beta, and then they overhauled the whole UI the first time, and we lost that. I may or may still see that they are water circuits in the background, but we don't have access to them right now. And in the AMA, they said that they're going to add that in the future. Yeah, water circuits would be very useful, because in my base, I always had outside a cistern that's open to the public. And I had a few times where people just...
the little Johns.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
And sometimes I had people who just sucked up all my water, which wasn't that little. Like, hey, like kudos to you for all the work. Take the water, but Jesus Christ.
200,000 milliliters of water gone.
Yes, gone. Like, something isn't right. Like, all the filters are working. Where's all my water? Like, oh, probably someone has picked that up.
Did you press a button to produce something?
Yeah. Hey, remind us again why there are light limits. I mean, some people say, and I want to mention again that we have an NDA. We are not allowed to talk about anything that happened or that has been discussed in the beta. So someone might have built a base inside the Rift, and because they wanted to see what the limits of Unreal Engine or how Funcom is using that are, put many lights in there, around 500.
Hey,
And the person who did that already noticed, okay, my frame rate goes very down, I'm going to leave. And people who don't have a 4090 just came near that and crashed. The game straight up crashed. Some people say, I heard that. And we have limits because of that. Maybe.
But we did our jobs, so we were pushing the limits of what could be allowed. Again, I didn't get the name, but that is pretty good.
Next time,
I will
we are going
totally
to
get the names next time of people posting. But do keep in mind, people don't always post, like my Reddit's not my name anymore. So, but I will grab names next time. I thought that was a pretty impressive build. They built with the terrain, which is always difficult.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, it looks pretty good gas.
Mm-hmm.
Someone did a mini Arakeen base.
Ah, that's so sick. And on one side, I love builds like that, absolutely beautiful bases, because I'm too simple to think like that. I see, okay, the thief, we have a box. What's the most efficient way to use that? I'm going to build a box. That's a wild concept, but I love boxes because they are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's absolutely beautiful.
My only problem with bases like that is it's gorgeous, but a problem we had in Conan that I think they fixed it is they weren't very space efficient because the workbenches and things were all weirdly shaped, and you had the walls were all the wrong heights and things. But this one does look pretty kick-ass. So kudos to the builder who did that one. This one reminded me of you because they put not just a water cistern out there. Do you see the size of that water cistern they have sitting out there?
A large one? Oh, Jesus.
That is a generous person that put that big ass water cistern out there. That is a lot of water. I have no idea what they're out there doing because that is an interesting configuration, but it's friendly to people on the ground. The gas base was posted by
Claudette 233.
Yes.
We are going to believe you.
Yes.
We're going to believe you.
So I will do better next time. It was not a great week, so I apologize to everybody. Credit to those who own the work. Another very large Atreides base. That's a lot of pieces. They pay max tax on that.
And I mean, that's going to be a running joke, but do you see how many lights are there? It seems very dark.
It's very dark.
We need more lights.
We do need just a
Maybe
few
500.
more.
Give us 500 lights, please.
But they built it out of the way. I'm pretty sure I know where that is. That's up at the top of the shield wall. There's a wall behind them, so they're not blocking the road. And yeah, that's pretty impressive. You're gonna like this next.
More like Hoover Dam.
Someone built this in the deep desert. And that is a big ass Atreides eagles that they put on them. 2 of them.
Oh, now I see it. Oh, smart.
They spent the money or did the betrayal to get the black Harkonnen pieces to offset. But that is sharp looking.
Absolutely.
That is very sharp looking, and it's in the deep desert, so you know that was.
That's so much. I mean, you can.
And that's a big.
You can with the copy tool take a copy of it, but that's going to be there for a week. So
yeah. That's a big neener to your hardcore neighbors. Is what that is. That's what that is. I mean, yeah, they can blueprint that and rebuild it every week.
Of course.
But still, just the the sass of putting a big Atreides eagle on 2 sides of it. That's pretty impressive. And it's a hard location. It's up on the side of the cliff.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't find a whole lot of Harkonnen builds, but I did find this one.
Which is strange because the Harkonnen have been so hard enemies each Landsword cycle. Like each time or you see everywhere how Harkonnen gets absolutely slammed during the Landsword sessions.
Yeah. They haven't been doing well in a lot of worlds. I've seen some they are, but yeah, I don't think they're as well represented as they think they are in some places. This one was a big build, and there was a lot of pictures. And unfortunately, Harko builds are kind of dark. But there's the upper left one looks like maybe a meeting room. The middle one is a balcony. He's got books and things on his desk. The front one is like a long walk to the front door.
What that person also used, which is very, very smart, is those not foundations, those floors from the Twitch drops,
The
which
server lights. Yeah.
yes, which have lights but do not count towards the light limit.
Yes.
The building piece you get from pre-ordering for some reason, or while the beta I didn't use it since for some reason maybe still counts towards the light limit. I don't know if it still does, to be honest, but back then it did.
Yeah. But the observer pieces are essentially free lights.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. And it actually looks really good with the Harco pieces. Whoever did this did a really amazing job decorating. And if you find it on Reddit, there's just tons of built pieces. It looks very, very comfortable. He's got the barracks, and he's got like a meeting room and a workshop. It looks great. Someone did another Atreides build. They were proud of. That's pretty impressive.
The ornithopters on the left side, are those straight in the open? I hope you only did that for the picture.
Yeah. Otherwise,
they are gone by now.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, it really isn't.
No,
Because they're like,
really
well, it's in the sub-pipe. I'm like, it's outside.
It's outside.
It's outside.
That doesn't count. Yeah.
Yeah. The other day, someone asked me to do a burnout or wheelies. This is not mine. I found it, but I thought it was hilarious that someone did video of them playing in the sand. And I'm like, why not? Why not?
Okay.
Some people like bikes, Veen. And this bike does not go straight and go fast. It goes straight and hits a block and then goes slow.
And for some reason you start flipping around, although only one wheel is in the air and the game thinks, oh no, we need to flip around.
Yes.
Let's keep going.
Someone learned a hard lesson when you're spice gathering, not to wait too long because you might be off the sand, but you're not off the sand.
And I have to say, normally he doesn't do that. Shaiulut only does that when he's really, really angry. When he's really angry.
Yeah, that's not that. This was not unexpected. This was them pushing the limits about 3 or 4 times, because he'll pop up 300 meters, 40 meters away a couple of times, but you keep coming back, and he's just going to come up from below. He's done aggravated by now, and he's kind of done with your shenanigans.
Need to find the right picture. This picture.
You monsters.
It's the same picture. Like your name tag is covering, but everyone knows that meme. Let's be honest. It's the same picture.
They're the same picture. And
the memes. Finally. For the longest time we in the beta Discord, we had memes, but they were only related to the beta and things that changed or things that didn't work.
We can't share any of those.
No, we can't share any of those. But the memes that started appearing since the game released.
Yes. I've done this one on the left so many times.
I don't always use Spice ability, but when I do it on that.
When you're trying to hit, Z and you hit X instead, you're kind of. And I'm just now getting used to using C for throwing things instead of C for crouch, like a normal person, because C should be crouch.
No, it shouldn't.
But no, it's not here. Or strafing, if you're wanting to go side to side and you're like, okay, I'm going to lean around the corner. No, I don't want to change fucking shoulders. I just want to lean. No, I don't want to do the camera flip thing. It's disorienting. Some of this one you may not get this second one because it's a. Did you ever listen to the Beach Boys song Aruba, Jamaica? Aruba, I wanna take it. Baruda, Wakuda, Ooh, yeah, that's what it was.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Ah,
Um,
okay.
so that's the houses, and someone someone got it Kokomo. Um, yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd get this one as a non-native speaker, but yeah, someone made it funny. I thought it was funny, so whoever made it was hilarious. I'm so,
Which Beach Boys were around which year, Mac?
shut up. That song came out in the '90s, so shut up. Still older than me, but okay, hush. Um, yeah, someone put out a pain scale
No
for
pain.
for Dune.
Placing your suspense every replacing your suspense bed every other outing. Yeah, I mean, how many times do you just go out and you get the warning, hey, that's about to break? And most things are like, okay, it
Yeah,
takes a while. But the suspense bed, like, hey, this thing is
yep,
going to, oh, and it's gone. Like, okay, thank
yeah.
you. And
Uh,
and you are falling to your death.
I think what a lot of people have discovered the hard way because they saw, oh, I'm going to use the vertical one so I can do the air combat all the time. I'm like, will you though? How many extra batteries and belts are you going to carry? Because if you have that on all the freaking time, it's going to die really freaking fast.
I mean, nowadays the power packs are pretty good, but yeah, let's keep going. Moderate solo grinding T6. I feel that one very
Yes.
much. Yes, it's very hard. Like, yeah, severe getting eaten by Sherwood. Most of the time, it's your own fault. I'm going to gaslight everyone here, but most of the time, it's your own fault.
Most of the time.
Most of the
You
time,
weren't paying attention. Yeah.
like it rarely happens nowadays that the server crashes while you're flying.
Yeah.
And they made changes just today that the ornithopter is not in the air slowly falling down, but now it's instantly going down and it's going to be around you. So
Instead of
yeah, so when you log in, it's around you somewhere. And yeah, but most of the time it's your own fault, dude. Like, let's be honest. I'm sorry, but it's been proven that humans learn the most by pain, and that's a lot of pain.
that is a lot of pain. That's a lot of pain. But I like the very severe one, emptying multiple deciliter johns into a water circuit. That's a lot of click.
Yes, I want to point out that because only people who've been there know what's like to have like you want to go out and you have 4 or 5 PPs on you because you need them. You're going to burn through them constantly.
Yes.
Yeah, for the people who've not been in the beta for the longest time, or not for the longest time, for a few months when they were changing balancing and everything, they would break constantly.
Yeah.
They would break all the time, and we've been screaming a lot. And yeah, like right now, they are fine. So yeah.
I was remembering the bug the other day when we would spawn in on top of wherever, right? And that was the same time the bug happened where our belts stopped working.
Yes.
And they just happened to say, so like, I'll just jump off my building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they.
And then like, you're in the bar, nothing's happening. And then you splat.
You shouldn't hit the table, please. That was painful. Thank you.
Sorry. I apologize.
That was very loud.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. No more table taps.
Yeah, but it seems fitting because that's what we would experience. You would just go splat.
I haven't played with any triangle pieces left. Are they like the triangle pieces in Conan? Because those aren't so bad. Once you figure out the kind of the rhythm of them, but they keeping in mind that they are not the same size lengthwise as squares are, so it does change how you place them.
I don't know how it's been in Conan. It's not great, but it's not that bad. I've seen worse games. I've seen games who have a uniform measurement of everything. Yeah, I don't know.
That's one thing I haven't played with is a whole lot of building pieces. Speaking of painful building pieces, this has become a pain point. People building like jerks.
Do you have? Oh, we should hide that comment. I'm sorry, I forgot. Do you have pictures of people building over T5?
Not
In
yet.
there?
No,
Okay.
I didn't grab those today. But this has been. I was going to bring that up though. We've had a whole lot of people building in places with the comment, well, if they didn't want us to, they would have blocked it. And it's like, do I really have to micromanage every behavior? Really? Do we have to do that?
Like some humanity and sense would be nice.
Yeah. I do think this is a lovely kickback because you can see it's on both sides. Whoever, so if I know exactly where the build is, right up on the shield wall. Everybody knows what that turn is, and they dropped a sub 5 on either side of their build to put debag on both sides because they blocked the road, which is pretty shitty. I know if you contact, I think it's customer service, they're like, well, we don't block, we're not going to turn it into a no build zone. It's like, well, we're not asking you to turn the whole thing into a no build zone. We want to get rid of that one because it is a deliberate attempt to block the road. That's just being a dick.
And I don't understand why someone would do that, because that's and also there, you have places, or you can go around it, but it takes much longer most of the time because they find a place that you just drive through and they build in there. And I don't understand why. We have that example. And also we have also seen that in beta where people find the flowers, because you have your flowers everywhere, but you have some hotspots of flowers.
Yes.
And people just claim those and build over them because I don't know why. Okay, that's a thing. You can get water. Yeah, you can get water on in multiple ways. But what we have seen now that we didn't even see in the beta, where we had scumbags, we had scumbags there as well. But what we start seeing is people going to the shoal, where you have safe spawns of T5, and they just start building over there.
Yeah, and it's. I made this comment the other day, and then I had to kind of back out of the conversation to somebody because they were saying, well, if they didn't want us to build over, they would block it off. And it's just one. I'm like, well, you do one, and your guild mate does the one next to you, and then Bob over there does the other one. And now there's only 3 left. And you're bringing your PvP into a PvE zone, and we can't fight back. We can't blow up your building. We can't get into your building. And it's a problem. Does my sound okay? Someone said we got an echo.
Yeah, we talked about that before. We have to get you some headphones or something like that.
Yes, we do.
Sorry, but that's because, as you can see, Mac doesn't have headphones, so people can hear what's coming out of her speakers. Yeah, so
I need to get techie.
We are working on that.
I'm freaking out. But building over the jazz nodes is a whole level of shitty overbuilding on the water. You can get water other places, but by building over those, you are locking people out of tier 5 stuff. So then you complain that they don't go to the deep desert. Well, no, they're not going to go out there with the deep desert because you've locked them out. And we can't fight back. And that's just a jerky thing to do. And I'm going to say it. It's a jerky thing to do. And I shouldn't have to tell you not to be a jerk, because it's not even a usable base. Because you can't live in there. You can't hide from storms in there. You'll die. It's just asset denial in a PvE zone. And it's kind of a dick thing to do.
Yeah, they haven't responded to that Funcom didn't say anything related to that. Sadly, they're probably going to, just like with the cheaters, they don't want to talk about that. They're just going to handle that. They maybe should at least say, hey, we are working on it. We are not going to talk about it. And Joel made a statement or made a comment related to that in the Discord, in the public Discord. But we know how the public Discord is like. Nobody's going to see that.
No, the scroll on there was just like,
yeah.
It was really, really wild. It was not good. But that kind of leads into today's stuff with the PvP Deep Desert changes.
Yes, or I would first talk about that yesterday. Yesterday they released the what do they call it?
The test client.
PTC? Yeah, genau.
Yeah.
The PTC, which people who have been in the closed beta saw that name in their Steam like a week ago. So, what are they going to do there? Yeah, they released that yesterday with a lot of changes and told us, hey, we are going, just like in the beta more or less, we are going to hear feedback and see how things go. It's not perfect, but just give us feedback. And one day later, they took the big majority of those changes and released them, which, okay.
I played a few hours on it. Did you notice the UI changes inside the workbenches? There was some slight UI tweaks. I like them. I remember recycling something, and as you put stuff in, the UI is slightly different. It's not a huge mechanical change or anything like that, but just there's some visual differences. And when you go into the first trial, because that's as far as I got was the first trial, the visuals, the graphics are slightly different.
Yes.
I was going to say, did you notice? It reminded me of. I'm going to date myself. In Windows 95. There was a screensaver that was it looked like a crystal ball that moved around and warped the image behind it. And it had it reminded me of that around the edges. It was doing that warpy sensation thing. And I was like, that's really cool. So they've done some
slight changes. I also noticed in the first spy stream, they changed some things.
Yes.
Because I still have video recordings of the release day when I recorded all trials. Because we may or may not have talked about doing a story thing in the future.
Yep.
And
came up.
and I've also recorded the improved spy stream, and they changed quite a bit. They added one scene, I believe.
Yeah. There's been some interesting changes, and I think it's just little things that we notice those changes. We don't always pay attention to until they're not there, and as these things get added and tweaked, they add flavor. And once you've got some hours in the game, you're going to look back at it and go, God damn, you don't. You're gonna look at it and go, I hate you.
Yeah, we also noticed. Do I want to talk about it? In the opening cutscene, when you're shot down by Santara, and he finds you, and he looks at you, and he says something, and you see a reflection in his eye. So and I think the majority of people don't know what that means. But we are going to talk about that, although I want to talk about it now.
There was a creator, I forget which one. It was a big one, some big guy.
Sorry, 1 second.
Go ahead.
I already knew Dune from even before the movies, because when I was very young, I might have read a book or two. But that may have been a few years. So I don't remember everything. I started playing this game, and when the game released, I said, or I even said before, okay, I'm not going to listen to any story, because the majority of the time, most of the stuff wasn't ready. And even before release, they released the last mission. We are not going to go into that because that's a major spoiler, and everything was wiped because of release day, and you have to do every mission again with the knowledge of the end of the story. Not the story, the end that we currently have. They are going to add more story. I have the feeling very, very soon. They're going to add more to the story. But yeah, with the knowledge of the last mission, and you start the game again.
And you see it.
It's always been in plain sight. Yeah. Let's talk about something else, please. Because what I wanted to say was, because of the game and the story, and it's very, very well written. I don't know the last time a survival game had such a deep story. Like, each and every side mission and small little thing somehow feeds into the big picture.
Yes.
Because of that, I got the books, all of them. Like, right here is the collection of the books, because I want to read up on the story again. Most of it we won't see in the game, but the whole world that Joel and the writing team took all their inspiration from. I'm excited for what's going to come.
We'll have lots to talk about soon.
Yeah. And we didn't figure out yet how we are going to put it all together, but we are going to work on that.
Yes, because there is so damn much story there.
German or English books, please. English.
But I think it was from the creator event that we did. There was some big creator who said that the gameplay was all right, but the lore was thin. And I'm like, dude didn't pay attention. I mean, it was the creator event, so it was limited. It was only the first four trials, but they're still, and that was the new trial 4. But it's the story starts the second the game opens. The second the game opens, there's stuff that is important. Great plots are in the Imperium, and you're part of that, and it just literally throws you out of the world and says, go figure it out. And everybody you interact with is part of that story. All of the contracts and contacts, and if you listen to all the radios in those camps in Huggy Basin South, when you're going around and getting the intel, listen to the radios. Mm-hmm. They're talking shit about the trader at Griffith's Port. At Griffith's, there's all of these connections that, the lore is there. If you're not seeing it,
and you recently told me that the first lab you have to go into, you have to go there, and the people are a little bit strange. They are a little bit strange, and you listen to the recordings, and okay, what's going on there? And you keep going. You keep playing the game, and you probably should join a house, because if you don't, you miss a lot of story, which is right now somehow related to everything else. We don't know yet, but something is going on, and it's not revealed yet. But somehow it all comes down to one faction. But anyway, and you find out later on why the people in the first lab are so strange and just going absolutely insane. And you have that many, many times while playing the game. You talk to all the sword master and each and every trainer, and they keep telling you, hey, you somehow the training went really well, and you seem to already know that, and I seem to have awakened something in you. That's really strange. And they keep saying that over and over again. And for the most time, I thought, for my part, yeah, okay, that's a normal gameplay thing to not say, to not say, okay, you learned years and years of training in a matter of seconds. Oh, okay, that's just a gameplay thing they say.
It's killing you. It's killing you.
I really want to talk about it, Meg. I really want to talk about it because there's so much to talk about.
We will. But yeah, talk to the traders at all of in Arakeen and Harco and go through their entire tree. Mm-hmm. They have shit to say.
Yes.
The water trader in Harco had some very interesting things to say. So people who just click past it make me cry because I'm like, then you guys are bored. There's no content.
I mean, to be honest, when it comes to that fair, they enjoy the game. The game itself is good. I wouldn't say great because there are still a lot of things they need to work on, in my opinion. I was talking to Meg the other day about this one lab with the recordings from before the Jihad, Great Law. Yes, and those recordings have been there for 10,000 years.
Yep. Everything in that lab predates the Jihad.
Mm-hmm.
And the game opens with "Thou shalt not do a thing." It's a goddamn joke.
I hate him. I hate him so much. And after, I've sent him many messages and I get answers or even a response. Very rarely. He started to respond today after I asked the question, hey, you see this thing in the very beginning. Is that from our perspective or does he say that? Well, what is he saying? Like, okay. You motherfucker. I fucking hate you. Okay, why is that? And he and Joel doesn't directly answer. He dances around answers.
Yes.
We know from the beta that they didn't just write this, and it's somewhat NDA breaking, but I don't care at this point. That they didn't just write this part, and right now they need to figure out what's going to come in the future. They have the future somewhat written for years and years to come.
Yeah.
So what we see now, the seeds, they've planted so many seeds right now for things that are about to come. And I want the next act, please. Tomorrow.
Yes.
That would be very nice.
The story, I think, is pretty much done for the next 10 years. In the AMA, I want to say it was in the AMA, it was one of the devs that I'm not familiar with had made the comment that the first book is almost done, and then there's more I'm like,
why are you doing that to me? And the problem is I see things happening in the background. I'm always watching. I have tools which are scanning every release they do, and I see things pop up, but those files are gone. And just some file names hint towards things. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see what's going to happen next. And
the suspense is rough.
And we don't know if with the first two acts, because the first act is all the trials and the next quest after that. And the second act is where I wouldn't say where the game really begins, but I think for the majority of people who never interacted much with Dune may think that the first act is boring because you go through those trials. Yes, for a reason. to explain why the Fremen are the way they are. But there are also side things that are
Yeah.
that it's telling you that we don't know yet. That we seriously don't know yet. Yeah. But anyway, we could talk for hours about that.
We will.
I saw. Wait. I saw this one. I'm waiting for a machine somewhere, but not found one yet. Have you played the main story? Have you played the quest after the last trial? After the seventh trial? Eighth trial?
The eighth trial is the
Okay. After the seventh trial, you go to a place. And there in the not in the last room, which is the first room again, but the room before that, something is said. Look at this.
yeah.
This is not meant to be here, and all factions wouldn't like that.
Yes. Yeah. We will. So for people who want to be spoiled next time, we will have more lore.
Yes. Yeah, we are going to talk about that in those. Each week we are going to talk. I don't know how we are going to do it now, but each week we are going to have one section just with news and community things. And for now, the second half, how much time we have left, is going to be story.
Nerd talk. We need. We were joking about having the big board with the string and the pins. Kind of to kind of connect the dots between people and houses and story and history, because there's so much going on and how things connect. Like the trooper trainer, her story connects back to stuff you're doing in the basin and connects to Gurney and Atreides and how
these things, which things Gurney is doing, and you encounter some things, and
there's so much, and this is why it's going to be hard to talk about it, because we could just start rambling and tell the whole thing, but then it would be like this big ramble, because there's so much, and how things connect. The start of how the arc for House Atreides links back to the second lab. And
I think we will just follow the main story for now, and later on, I mean, the first act is pretty simple up until the last mission. After that, it's going to be complicated, and we need to figure out a way how to tell that story, because otherwise we would go, okay, right now remember that in 3 weeks we are going to talk about it.
But
that's
aliens.
Not going to work. We need to figure out a way to... And like, all the things are connected. This is a very hard problem we still have to figure out.
There's a lot of interconnectedness. But as far as like news things, like because there's lots of news as well, like the whole changes to the deep desert today that have the very loud minority very, very upset about the changes, and they missed the message that it's not a PvP game, and now they're like, well, we're going to take our toys and leave, and we're like, well, you were warned, and Joel said in the AMA, we're sorry that the messaging wasn't clear, but
I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I don't believe that 1 second. We've been screaming about that for a year, and we've been not been ignored, but we've been told that we are wrong. And now, just 2 weeks after the full release, the problems we had, or the problems we identified early on, they're working on that. Right now, it's a Band-Aid. They're going to work on it more. But yeah.
One of the
and just locking tier 6 behind PvP wasn't a great idea to begin with.
No,
we knew that. To people, I mean, I said it before, but to people who've been in the beta, this shouldn't be any surprise. We saw that from the very beginning. Those things shouldn't be locked behind PvP, and while PvP is mentioned on or has been, I don't know if they changed it by now, has been mentioned on the Steam page as optional, but that doesn't make it optional.
No, but the argument that the PvP groups were making was, well, you don't need a tier 6 Thopter. It's like, it's not about the tier 6 Thopter. It's about you have materials to make that great big refiner that's far more efficient, whether it be the spice refiner or the metal refiner. You have the ability to make those which are more efficient, and the bigger wind traps, which are more efficient. So when it comes to the Landsride, which is the real PvP, the real end game,
the real PvP. Fuck.
The real PvP. You have an advantage because you've been more efficient. And then when the Landsride turn-ins are Regis this and Regis that and tier 6 this and tier 6 that, we don't have access. And so we have 3 things on the board where you guys have 7. Figurative view, the PvPers, and no hardcore PvP group is going to sell their advantage on the market. They're just not going to do it.
And I understand Joel's vision there. On the other side, it would be nice if it would be like that.
Yeah.
If people who have stuff are going to sell it on the exchange. But that's now how it turned out.
That's not what they're doing. No.
Sadly. Maybe that's going to change when they are going to add more quality of life features to the exchange. Did we receive some of those today, or do we only have those on the PTC?
There was a whole bunch of stuff in the notes, and I minimized it so I don't have it up. But there was the patch notes were quite large.
Yeah.
For today, so I'm not sure what quality of life stuff they have, but I know there were still.
Yeah, but somehow you have to incentivize people who have those resources to sell them.
Yes. And as long as they get their jollies from kicking my ass, they're not going to sell them.
No. And if people are selling those resources, they give their enemies, their potential enemies, and way into the Landsride. So why would you want to sell tier 6?
And before today, that speed difference between the tier 6 and the tier 4 Thopters was significant. There's no way I could get away without burning up my Thopter using boosters. So
let's see how it comes through.
The advantage was always towards the people who had the tier 6 materials. There's still some balancing issues that still need to be addressed. Like there's some things that you can only still get in the PvP areas. I'm like, they're definitely not going to sell those.
No.
And because now you've condensed the PvP areas, people are going, oh my God, check out our PvP. No, we just made it a little smaller. There's this thing in science called the Boyle's Law. Are you familiar with Boyle's Law?
Mm-mm. Tell me.
When you have a container, right, and it's full of gas.
The container you have right there is very beautiful. Where can we get that, Mac? Someone, quick.
Exclamation merch will show you my merchandise thing. And
good that I know now, Mac. Thank you very much. I will go to the... Okay, keep going on, sorry.
If you fill it with a gas, like oxygen or carbon monoxide, it has so much pressure in it. As you put the piston down, right, as the molecules are condensed, they move faster and faster and increase pressure and heat. So what we've done in the deep desert is we took all this big space and now we've condensed it down to increase pressure and heat. PvP in the deep desert will actually hopefully be better because I'm driving 20 minutes to go find someone to PvP because you're all in the same space already is the idea. I think was their goal. We're gonna make the space smaller so it's easier to find the people who want it. It could work out that way now. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but there's still a lot of complaint about. I saw one. They were saying that people could get a transport and a harvester to the big spice flows and out again before they can get there. And my response is, get good, fly faster. I don't. If a transport carrying a sandcrawler outruns you,
you have other issues like skill issues.
I'm like, I mean, seriously, I could catch up with that. Okay,
And
that's
outcrawler, no, it's basically a glorified storage chest. No, you can fly faster than the limit. Glides? Have you heard of gliding?
yeah. But yes, compression makes things boil. As you increase the pressure, that's why if you use canned air, right, and you've used canned air to blow your computer out, as you let the pressure off, the can gets ice cold because you're decreasing the pressure and it cools off. Whenever you increase the pressure, it gets hot. When you decrease the pressure, it cools off. So yes, there's your science lesson for the day. But I think by
The
condensing it, they were hoping to increase the pressure and increase encounters for PvP.
also the goal of all of this, which was also mentioned in the AMA, was the scout ornithopter was the way to go for PvP.
Yes.
They didn't like that because it's a scout ornithopter. It's fast, it's small, and it's not meant to fight. You can fight, but you are
Yes.
going to have it's not going to turn out that good. If you want to fight, use a medium ornithopter.
The assault, I think it's what's called now.
Yeah, assault
keep
ornithopter,
changing names.
because it's an assault ornithopter, and on there you can have the rocket launcher and thrusters at the same time. Use them. You need them anyway. You can't use an assault ornithopter without the thrusters. You need them.
Yes. So I think anytime a meta changes, there's going to be people who are upset by that.
And also how it is right now, it's going to change constantly.
Yes.
They have excellent people like Andrew in the beta when people were discussing numbers. All the time, Andrew would come in out of nowhere. Actually, it's like this, and we changed it because people didn't use it like we wanted to, or too many people use it, so we knew, okay, something is going on. They are looking at the numbers, so just try and keep doing what you're doing, or stop doing what you're doing. Give feedback. Don't cry, don't scream. It's not going to do anything.
Don't get nasty with Iggy and those guys. That doesn't do anything helpful.
No. I mean, they are trying, but they are... yeah.
But yeah, give actionable feedback, not wah, because it's hard to put wah into a spreadsheet and say we can put a patch on that. We just, you know.
And with the AMA, we have statements, public statements, and with the statement from Joel, we have actually, okay, that's how it's supposed to work. Maybe that's my mentality, or my beta tester mentality. Okay, that's how it's supposed to work, and I will try to use it how it's supposed to work. Okay, does it actually work like that? Yes, no. So yeah, it's
there was a lot
difficult.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. That was kind of our goal, though, was to say, here's this thing, and we would go do stuff with it. And sometimes it would do what they wanted. Sometimes it would do more. I mean, Joel was sometimes, with Conan and PvP and Dune both. The devs were like, we did this thing, and you guys did something completely different and unexpected with it, like the battle bus, right? They were like, we didn't plan for you guys to do that, but hey, it's cool. And I'm still of the opinion, if you're actually shooting things from a moving copter and you hit them, then...
I mean, at that point, when you are able to do that, kudos to you. There was a few days ago a video of some, I believe it was French guys, I don't know which would have made sense, who just flew in there.
And just wrecked that crawler.
And just...
the transport.
Yes, with so many ornithopters around, and two guys just wrecked our whole guild. Like, okay, that's amazing, but that's not how it's supposed to work. And
there's a balancing issue there.
Yes, that's definitely a balancing issue. And I know they saw that, and people went, okay, that's cool. That's not how we want things to go. Not at all.
I mean, it was clever because no one can shoot back because they're going to hit their own vehicle.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's not great balancing. Yeah, that was the guy standing on the carrier with the 4 rocket launchers, and
and using many different flaws in the game, like actually design flaws, not exploits or anything like that. I would say they're design flaws, because he was just flying around with his belt and constantly just spawning his ornithopter from his VBT. And in that implementation before today, when you spawned an ornithopter from your VBT, you could spawn it everywhere and it would just stay there and slowly fall down. So he constantly just spawned it, just stood there in the middle of the air, shooting at people, and before they could shoot back, he would pull out his VBT, pick up the vehicle. Absolute incredible.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't work like that, but hey, kudos to you.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
That was impressive. It was okay. Let's not do that again. But yeah, there was nothing game breaking mechanics there. It was just like, let's not.
Those people used the game or used every flaw the game could give them, and that's fair. No, that's actually not fair. But hey, the game gave you that tool, so it's all right. And I mean, you could use. Scheiße. You could actually use the same argument to people covering up Jasmium. Like, okay, the game doesn't prevent you from doing that, but
yeah,
I mean, you shouldn't cover up Jasmium or resources at all. And you
see, some nodes move, but Jasmium and Erythrocyte do not. Those, and Hefe said, those are not procedurally placed. Those are deliberately placed by hand because they relate to story. There's a reason that they are the way they are, where they are. And even in beta, with some of the more aggressive players that we had, they wouldn't build over nodes because it just never occurred to us to do so. And
yeah, I mean, all those things are going to change.
My only concern about changing the VBT that way is you and I were running that wreck the other day.
Oh.
My vehicle would not fucking spawn.
Yeah, they changed something.
We had to jump off.
Yeah. That they changed something at some point. For a long time, we were able to spawn things from the VBT very closely and in quite tight areas. But for some reason, it's different now. I gave that feedback or reported that bug many times, and it has not changed.
It's really, really annoying because you're running up and down a hill going, I really would like to stop getting shot at. I want to leave now, please. And you can't.
Or you are just in the middle of... you have so much space around you, but for some reason, you can't spawn your ornithopter.
It happens to the bike sometimes, too.
Yeah. So, okay, why? And the game... I mean, first off, the game doesn't tell you why. But yeah. I mean, it also, when it comes to that, it's going to change.
Yeah.
The game has been out for, I mean, not really, but 16 days. The BBT is a bit overpowered, really.
You can have it when you pry it from my cold dead fingers.
Yes.
Those 2 weeks where they took it away from us were hell.
Oh, yes.
Because there was a weird bug where people were flying their Thopters to a hub, and they would pay the pilot to come back. And that's when they would come back, and your vehicle would be inside the trade post, like literally wedged up inside, and you can't get it out because you can't use your BBT in there. Yes. And there were Thopters wedged in there for weeks. Going in to talk to certain traders, and there's like a Thopter in their face.
And you would just come in and go, Yeah, that's beta, I guess. Okay, I'm going to figure out the things that I have to do.
Her like, that's what we're doing today. Okay.
Just standing there. Okay, good. Okay. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, also related to the changes today, it's all going to change. The
Yeah.
changes that were made today related to the DD are somewhat band-aids. We may or may not be able to get those resources somewhere else in the future.
Yeah.
So the DD will be all PvP because from a lore perspective, it would have made sense past the DDA. Good luck. From a lore perspective, I would like for it to return to that maybe. But yeah.
Which makes sense. But they said in the AMA that in the future there would be other places and things, I think, past tier 6.
Yeah.
So, and those things would not be locked behind PvP.
And we are going to have other places which we can call home.
Yes.
Which
they
interesting.
That dropped today. That was in today's where we could move siege. There were some problems in some worlds though. So as things happen on patch day, shit don't always work. But feedback and actual bug reports in game, instead of going to a Discord and going, something broke on my world. Well, who are you? Where are you? When are you? What was your coordinates? You know, those things are metadata that go into the bug report. You need to do an actual bug report and not. I mean, there's an element of, is this thing happening over here? You know, it could be something serious. We all should know. Don't do the thing, but also do the bug report. And for feedback, it needs to be actual feedback, because if all you're doing is making WAN noises, they're not going to be able to act on that. And they get a lot of that. There's a million people who have the game, and be clear. When I do this thing, this is the response, and it's too slow, too fast. The numbers don't work out right. It doesn't feel balanced because it's 3-on-1, it's 5-on-1, or whatever. Those things they need to have for feedback. They need, things like the HUDs are too dim or too this or to that. They need to have details. And you can't do that in a Discord. They need to see the metadata. Use the bug report function.
Yes, he has.
He has. He did it on. He did it on Twitter. He did it on Twitter.
Yes, he has. We are waiting for that. Yeah, but overall, I mean, last week I wasn't here. No, not last week. Last stream. Overall, since release, I think that the release went really well.
Yes.
We had some issues on the first day and some other issues on the second day, but nothing big. Yeah, there are the occasional issues here and there, but they are going to get ironed out. And but nothing game breaking.
No.
Where people are not able to.
Private worlds were a little
Yeah, but again, and people don't understand that. I get a lot of messages related to that. Why private worlds are down? Like, dude, I'm just reading the data and showing you the data. I may, or next time or the time after that, I could maybe show some data from what I perceived. And how many times private worlds are actually down, which is a lot, and how many times actual the official servers have been down, which hasn't been a lot.
There's been some issues here and there, but not like a whole region. Has been having some issues, but it's overall been really a good launch.
Yeah, we had a few days ago issues where people weren't able to leave the map they were on because on some worlds the overmap was down. Where people also complained to me about, I don't see the overmap. I don't see the overmap when asking their backend. They're working on it. We're losing your
I
vehicles
gotta
because you
respond to
crossed
this
into
one.
Haga overworld map. It's just noise of people.
So the first Coriolis wipe, there was a problem like this where people couldn't leave the deep desert and get back to the Haga Basin, and it was probably the
Yeah.
overland map being offline again, like
Yes.
we've seen before. It was probably that, and people were upset, and that's why they made North America do their Coriolis a day late because people couldn't get on and move their stuff, and it was probably that server being off. Did someone forget to turn it back on? I don't know. If that would ever happen, that people would forgot to actually boot the server up. But that happened again this week, and people were really mad. And a lot of people, I saw someone they've moved their entire production to the deep desert. Their entire and they don't have a base in there anymore. And they're like, "We're gonna lose everything." I'm like, "You made a choice to do that. It warns you when you fly in there." And yes, I get being frustrated that the game has an issue, but you made a choice to move every fucking thing you own to a map that wipes every week. And it was a problem last week that you haven't seen a patch.
Yeah. And that person is still really loud about it. Yeah, we lost everything. As a why did you? I mean, yes, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
And that sucks.
It absolutely sucks. I totally get it, but why are you bringing things to the DD you're not ready to lose? Yes, those bugs shouldn't happen if you stay on the PvE side. Previously, it's been the sheet wall. Now it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have much nice things to say about that. Yeah, it sucks.
Issue,
I'm sorry, but
and you repeat it, okay, now it's an issue. It's not a glitch. It's an issue. If you do it a third time and it does the same thing, now you were roaming into insanity because you're expecting something different. The sixth time you lose the thing, I'm like, that's on you. Have you seen a patch that says it's fixed? Have you seen an update that says it's fixed? Then it's not fixed. Why would it be magically fixed? 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes since you did the thing last, and it's still broke. Except that part is broke. It sucks, and you can't progress that direction right now. Find something else to do.
Yep.
And they always say, "Well, I ran everything." Have you though? Maybe go touch grass. I don't know.
Yeah, but also when it comes to that, it's probably just us who are used to play the beta for such a long time, and where those things were just normal. Okay, you shouldn't do these things, and you have these workarounds to just and when it comes to that, yes, those things shouldn't happen, but the game has been out for 2 weeks.
I think
there are going to still be issues. Yeah.
And this is where we come back to
I tried nothing and I'm out of idea.
You got to decide how you respond to your frustration. Are you going to go touch grass? Are you going to to do something different in game? How you respond to the devs who have questions, how you respond to the CMs, or when you fill out your bug reports. Those are all your choice. Frothing at the mouth and screaming how they owe you compensation, because people have been asking for compensation. Well, my private server was down for 2 days, so they owe me 2 days. Funcom owes me for 2 days for my private server not being up. And it's like, and I was like, no, they don't. And someone's like, well, you don't know anything about business. I'm like,
the moment when you go to the server browser and you click private, there's a window that pops up every time, which is telling you, A, what's happening on your private server it's nothing to do with Funcom. Like, yes, you should report bugs if you see something, but when your server is down or when something else happens, that's not on Funcom. They have little to no control over that. Insight. A little insight. Each time they bring down the servers to for a patch, I see all the servers. All normal public servers go down in an instant. They instantly shut them off. From my perspective, what they have to wait on to release the update are the private servers. because those don't instantly shut off. They slowly go down one by one for 30, 40, 60 minutes sometimes, and you slowly see them go offline. Yeah, but overall, the private servers seem to have a lot of issues. And Gportal in most crashes I see on Gportal. But that one dude on YouTube.
I saw someone, I think it was in my Discord, it might have been D, was saying some YouTuber said that the uber best place to build in Haga Basin was in the Western Gap near the Northern Ironworks. That was the place to build. And apparently on some servers...
For the start, that's a really nice place. And that's where I always go, because you have a short way to get everywhere. But that's not the best place. It's the best place to get your ornithopter as fast as possible. Or as fast as possible to get steel and aluminium. And then you put your ornithopter. And when you have your ornithopter, nothing matters. You can build anywhere.
Yes.
But yeah, but this one it looks like Detroit and most.
Because everybody moved up there. They went from the anvil to that rock instead.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're all building on top of each other over there.
The open beta weekend. I have never seen something like this. Like on the closed beta for the longest time, it was. Yeah, you had some people who built very close to trading points, but we knew, it doesn't matter that much. You don't go in there that much. It doesn't matter, really. Open beta, each and every trade was...
Yeah. I caught someone stream the other day. They had a Thopter. They were getting ready to go to the deep desert. They had a Thopter, but they needed the cooler thing for the cutter. Mm-hmm. And I said, you can buy it at the Crossroads Trade Post. Mm-hmm. So he's got his base by the anvil with his Thopter, and he goes into anvil and takes the pilot to Crossroads, and I'm like,
I mean you can.
I mean you can, but you couldn't flow for free.
But at that stage, you don't have that much, or you don't know how much money you need in the future. It is.
I don't take the taxi. The only time I took the taxis in beta was when the overland map was broke, and they said don't. There was a period of time they were like, don't take your Thopter anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because they were so hard to get that we had to spend so much spice. And like I was very precious with my Thopter, and so I was taking the pilot at that time. That was around Valentine's Day, because I remember taking the Thopter to Harco Village.
Yes.
Because there was problems with the overland map and going across with the servers. I think when we first started, back then, before we knew how kind of the loop and things. I mean, I was very conservative with my building. I was very conservative with my resources, because I was running solo, and it was literally months before I saw anybody else on my world, because there wasn't many of us, and I was very precious with my stuff, because at that time water was so hard, and iron and steel was but yeah, fuel's never been expensive. I mean, I stock for every fuel box now. I mean, every fuel cell, we have plenty of fuel cells at my bases. And fiber. We never run out of fiber.
Fiber. Like finding fiber, or I mean, right now I have some places where I go where fiber spawns, or fiber I didn't even check, but you have a lot of fiber in one place, and fiber for some reason respawns in like 30 seconds or something like that, very instantly. But imagine having your tier 6 medium ornithopter. Yeah, you have your assault ornithopter, tier 6 treaties, and you fly to the starting zone to get fiber. Like some witch motherfucker with high tier armor, high tier everything, decked out completely, and I just fiber. Yes, I need the fiber for filters. Thank you.
I have gone down there and done the circuit for fabric, generators, and fiber, and you just run around and just grab those things, because when you need them, you need them. If you're going out to, this is when we were going out to the deep desert more often, you need thumpers, that steel, and those EMF generators. You always need the fabric for your still suits, and I mean, you go through stuff, and you lose the thing because your worm ate you, or you have to respawn and your stuff takes damage, or you need to repair it. You use it. And yeah, I may not be great at combat, but I'll find the fucking fiber.
What they also added today, I think we talked about it briefly, is that you are now able to join another siege.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you have your home and you just back out of the game and you can just go to the server browser, go into your world, which is at the very top, and you can just join another siege. And right now you always spawn the first trading post. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. And you can just go there and build there as well, because previously you could only visit other sieges when you had a friend there. But now you can move, and now people can hopefully, if they were smart in the beginning, when friends are on the same world but somewhere else, they could bring all their stuff to the DD, and a friend picks that up and they can move, which very nice.
Yeah, somebody mentioned to me before this change, they had a friend in another world, in another siege, and they went to visit. The timers are different, so you hit a thing on my world, get your stuff, drop it, need more, hop into their siege, go over there, farm it, bring it back, and hit 2 for 1. It's like,
which might be an issue for anyway. Yes, your inventory and your VBT. You bring everything with you.
So yeah, do take your vehicle and your VBT, because otherwise you're going to be standing out there with no ride. So,
and you spawn in a starter region. So
yeah.
When you're outside of the starter region, you can pretty much, and don't ask me how I know, you can pretty much walk and run everywhere if you are smart. But you can't get out of the starting region. You can't run.
Joel did that on purpose. We used to be able to.
We used to be able to.
We used to be able to bend a Jesuit run across there, but he was like, no one outruns the worm.
Or you may be able to, if you have high tier stuff, just find some witch, sprint, and bounce off and just fly to the other side. That might also be,
By some magic that you could do to.
Exactly, something like that. But you should bring your VBT.
Oh yeah. Always, your VBT is your most powerful tool.
Yes. And even, I mean, when you go to the DD and you take your scout ornithopter, have a second scout ornithopter with you. Always.
Yep. Always.
Don't ask me how I know.
Just like the old days.
Oh, yes.
Tried, it refuses you. What refuses you? Because what we were doing was you fly one and you have a second one in your VBT, and you keep it there as a backup. So there's an ad break, so we might have to wait a moment for them to come back. Oh, Spring Grape. Yeah. They changed it. You used to be able to bend a Jesuit run across, but Joel was like, no. He was like, no one denies Shai Hulud, and severely nerfed the stamina usage. He got the speed and the length of each run by a lot. So yeah, just a straight sprint, you're not going to make it. You're absolutely not going to make it. And even even from those first islands into the gap, getting further in would still be very, very difficult. You could cut west. You might make it to the hammer, but you're not going to cut east. It'd still be very, very tight because there's drum sand between you and west and east. And
I mean, I walked that way a few times, but it's very, very close. And I was already pretty high levels, so I had the more stamina you can unlock.
yep.
But those times have been very, very close, yes. And nobody has been around to just call Shirut closer or something like that.
Yeah. I think the one time I got really close, I had a problem. I died and respawned at my last spawn point, even though I had no bike. I was at the what is now trial 3, and my base was like on the other side of the gap, and I'm like, well, fuck it.
And for the longest time, the respawn points were
the respawn points were just wackadoodle, and I thought, worst thing that's going to happen is I die horribly, and I started across the sand between, and I cut straight east. I was going, can I walk to the hammer from here? I did. It scared the absolute fuck out of me because I'm about halfway there, and I'm like seeing, oh look, more deep. I'm like, oh crap.
Hallo du, du bist so süß.
And then you start seeing the line, and you're like, oh crap. And because you're like, if I take a few steps and you can see it, you're like, okay, you're trying to measure, and the butt puckering starts, and and I just made it to rock, and Shahaloud came up and did the head at me. And I was just like,
looking down.
Yeah. That's why Zantira tells you to watch out for liquefied feces. That's why he tells you that, because
maybe I should have prepared. I have that recorded, but maybe I should have prepared my 3 PvP situations in the DD. Because most of the time I go to the DD in the middle of the night, early in the morning.
Yep.
I have been. I mean, now everything is different. But I've been going to the DD middle of the night, early in the morning, when there weren't that many people active. And maybe you would see someone, but most of the time, from how they move, you knew, okay, they're also just, oh fuck, there's someone else. I had a few encounters, and my first encounter was like, I was flying, and I saw, because you can only see like 15 meters in front of you.
Yeah.
I saw like, oh, there's an ornithopter. Oh, there are many ornithopters over there, and they're just bundling up. Oh, okay, that's a really big group. Those were 38 ornithopters, and some medium, a lot of small. And was just gliding by to the north. And I saw how all of them turned towards me.
Someone spotted you.
Shit is going to go down. Like, I'm just flying, and I was just looking at them. Wait, there is no spice below you, so you have no business to be there. Except you are looking for someone. And I have a strategy which I could have also prepared how to somewhat safely use your medium ornithopter, assault ornithopter, to get to safety. But I very, very quickly discovered that may work to 3 people or even 5. I also use it on 5. But that doesn't work when you have like 30 people following you and just you don't survive that. Like, you don't even have to fight. At some point, I was in my medium ornithopter, and I also had a light ornithopter in my VBT. And I didn't land. I was forced to land because I didn't have any wings anymore. Just kill me. I'm going to respawn at the shield wall and just leave, because that doesn't make any sense. That wasn't that fun, but hey, that's part of the process. You ran into a big group with quite a time like this, but in recent days seems to no longer exist. We have a large guild rotating members now. It's even easier for them to patrol. On my world, we also have a group that sometimes just, or used to now it's different. But yeah, that just would fly very near to the shield wall. You could see multiple just waiting in line, and okay, no, thank you, because
They're
those
waiting.
guys are doing something in the DD. They are pretty much denying everybody else, but that's fair play at this point.
Yeah.
I would like the T6. I can come back later. Yeah.
They won't be out there all the time. And
No.
with the changes today, I know there's been some bad behavior. I saw someone accusing PvPers of when they essentially moved the line back. Now you can build safely in the PvE zone without worry of raids. So people are building over the nodes. And so I was like, well, it's the PvEers. I'm like, it could be, or it could be the PvPers as much to continue to drive you into the PvP zone because you can't raid the base. They could be raiding the materials for themselves. Anybody could. It's a shit thing to do, regardless. But there will be at least some access to those. There's a 45-minute cooldown between the nodes now, which is ridiculous. But they're like, here's your crumbs, which kind of it stings, but at least it's something. And
we are going to see how things go. They just dropped that today.
Yeah.
They will. I mean, they made it pretty clear with, like you said it. They raised the respawn timers of those node points, and you don't have. I believe you don't have full islands, only of Strav or Titanium. We are going to see how it goes. They have their numbers. We have our feedback.
Yeah.
I like where things are going to give people who don't want to engage in PvP some access. That way, with those few nodes, you want to have your large spice refiner quickly.
But you still could have it.
Yeah.
It is not automatically denied.
You just have to work longer for it and harder for it. But you have access without being forced into PvP. Those islands are not no build zones right now, but
they have some tweaking to do. There was a few
wrecks.
There were a few wrecks that were marked PvE, and people were a bit pissy about it. And they're like, "I want a PvP," and I'm like, "They were supposed to be flagged PvP. The labs are PvE if they're in the PvE zone, but the wrecks are still supposed to be flagged PvP as before."
I don't. Let me just percentage of people. When it comes to that, you can check out the Steam achievements, but I don't trust them. They are not clear indicators.
No, they're also very slow. I think it's the biggest thing.
Yes. They are not clear indicators, and Funcom hasn't said anything. So we don't know for now. And I can imagine why they're not giving out those numbers. Maybe. That might change. Hey, so many people are going to the DD now. Yes, because the majority of it is PvE.
Yeah, and I mean that was one of the things that came up in the beta was people were like, well, no one wants to PvP. I'm like, I just want to get my ass kicked. That's not fun to me. There would be no challenge for me. It's going and subjecting myself to the schoolyard bully for no return.
And I mean now, we talked about that before, that I someday wanted to take you to the DD and to a DD lab, because the DD labs are different.
Yes.
They're not like, some are just they're just building blocks they place in the DD, are like normal HB labs, but you have some labs that are unique, which are incredibly beautiful, which are very beautiful. Okay, the wave thing in there, I think we will not go in there because I can hardly do them by myself.
On an anchor.
Yes.
I own it.
Yeah, but now we can go to the DD together.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, people were the argument that, well, only 10% of the people are going to the deep desert, they don't get to talk about it. Well, we don't go to the deep desert because we know how it would end, so why do it? You know, and it becomes this weird logic of, well, you don't get to talk about the deep desert because you won't go. Well, I don't go because these reasons. I can give you the reasons why I don't go. Some of it's personal stuff because I suck, but some of it as just a player in general. A bunch of us stopped going because there were issues with bugs or combat was unbalanced. There were lots of get grenade spam. You know, there's been tweaks and things to fix and to hold a metric as to who gets to talk about it and who doesn't is not. It doesn't help.
Yeah, that's gatekeeping. That's gatekeeping at its best.
Yes.
But now, honestly, I'm not. If people are going to take a stance like that, I'm no longer talking to them because, hey, you have a statement from Funcom about how the game is supposed to be and what it's supposed to be like. It's a PvE game with a PvP feature. PvE people are meant to access tier 6 now.
Yes.
Like, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. And people are going to the PvP side because they need to or want to. So, I don't know, dude. And we had the same discussions we have now in the beta. It's always the same. And now Funcom made a statement and people are just going, yeah, they're wrong. No, it's their game.
This is not true either because everyone has to PvE to get to PvP.
Those same people feel entitled to PvE opinions despite saying they never do PvE. So,
but they do PvE. You don't. The Thopter doesn't magically appear out of nowhere, and no, their intel points don't appear out of everywhere, and that leads the evidence and the weight to it's not a PvP game. Everyone has to PvE. You guys want to PvP, and this came up so many times, trying to find the balance between what really is a really loud minority versus the rest of us. And I think I want the PvP players to have a spot for good PvP. We haven't got it yet.
No.
We have people spawn camping, camping in the wrecks. I'm like, really? You guys?
Honestly, the moment we have good PvP, I'm going to join that because I love PvP.
Yeah.
But Dune Awakening is not a game for me with all the mechanics it has to be a good PvP game right now. It's not fun. It's absolutely not fun. And and it's also incredibly unbalanced.
Yes.
I mean, just recently I had an encounter where I was ganked by 5 people. Those 5 people were not able to kill me because I had high level gear, tier 6 gear. They were not able to kill me for 25 minutes and they were all only able to kill me. I have a recording with Mike and everything. It's hilarious. Because at one point I started laughing so stupidly that I didn't pay attention to my either stamina or how much battery I have left. And I died because of that. They were not able to kill me. And that yet is fun for me to go like, yeah, fuck you. You're not going to kill me.
Yeah.
You are not going to kill me. And they wasted so many rockets and everything. Like ornithopter rockets. Two ornithopters constantly shooting at me. And I have a tier 5 shield with a tier 6 power pack. And I didn't care. I just kept running. And yeah, that's fun, but that's not balanced. Yeah. 5 people should be able to kill me rather quickly. And when you get shot from an ornithopter with a rocket, you should die rather quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Interpoints seems too easy to get. I have about 1600s I haven't used. Keep them.
They've said that more things are coming post T6. So yeah. Because respecting is such a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah. We can see which is going to change PvP quite a bit. You can see in the story a medium ornithopter with las guns, a dart gun in the front, and a shield on top. Medium ornithopter. You can see that many times. You can even see that in the social hubs. You can see medium ornithopters and buggies with shields, and a medium ornithopter on the sides with las guns in the front, a dart gun, and a shield up top. Someday we may or may not get that. They may have updated that recently, I think. I have a feeling in my gut somewhere. And that will change PvP again, because now you don't only have rockets. Now you also have las guns, and you need a good battery pack. And you have...
It is a whole dynamic there that comes with shields that impact the play. But I noticed looking at buggies, there's combat options in the game already. We can't make them yet, but if it's in the skill tree to have a combat option.
On the medium ornithopter, there's a empty slot, because for a long time we had, just like the scout ornithopter has a scanner now, we had a scanner for the medium ornithopter. That was removed for some reason.
That's just a pulled over on the UI.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how they're probably going to use it. And the spot where you are able to mount a thruster right now, there's a shield.
Those changes, again, when they drop, are going to be all kinds of messy, and
absolutely.
And they're going to look at I've seen lots of comments about how they caved into the PvE people. Like, no, they looked at numbers.
Yes,
they're going to be driven by actual metrics, not how we feel about it. Because everything that they've done, there's stuff I don't like. I don't give my way. They're looking at actual numbers. So, is it Andrew that had the numbers guy?
Oh yes. Oh, he's the number guy. He knows everything. That's incredible. And yeah, when it comes to that, again, I understand Joel's vision, and it's going to land there, but not how it is right now. It's going to land there in the future. But yeah, right now things are kind of band-aidy, because they want people to access this, but yeah, that's not how how it's supposed to be, but it's not how it's supposed to be. It's kind of messy, but still, we are in the 3rd week after release. Chill the fuck out. And when people get pissed about the PvP changes because they had some strange idea about the game, so you didn't read the room right, you were somewhat bamboozled by the trailers. I'm sorry, because most of them were very PvP heavy, and you were even were able to see PvP in HB, and that's not a thing on official servers, at least.
Not much. No. Most of those PvP spaces are not being used as such. There's always a risk, and I would never, go in there willy-nilly, but
each time, and I already had those times where you're going to some fortress or a shipwreck, and you go in there, where are all the enemies? Oh, someone has been here recently. I should come back later, because they might be still around.
Yeah, and they might still be around, and when are they going to respawn? There's nothing like being in a crowded space and suddenly all of them spawn in, and you're
all in the middle of two heavies.
Yeah, that tends to go very, very quickly.
It's messy, but that is sweet.
But I think one thing that people are spoiled on is they want the feel of a game that's been out for 5 years and has all of that content and all of the major mechanics mostly sorted, and the game's been out 2 weeks. Give it. We were in closed beta for a long time, longer than a lot of games. There was a lot of us in there, but that's not everything all the time. There's stuff that's popped up because there's just so many more people that we didn't see.
Oh yes.
The ping problem. The fuck is with the ping problem? I could be to the NA. I could be the EU. I'm still extending 160, and I'm like, didn't have any problems playing NA in beta, because EU at that time was always having problems. I can't imagine why EU was always going down, and so we just moved to the NA side.
Yes. Yeah, because at that time the NA servers were in Paris, I believe. Yeah, so
It was, yeah.
yeah. Overall, right now, the people that are leaving because of the PvP changes, we are not. Yeah, good luck. You
We,
had some idea about the game that it's not right now. The PvP is unbalanced because the game fucking released 3 weeks ago. Things in PvP games or games with the PvP feature are always messy because you can't perfectly balance. You
yes.
cannot perfectly balance a PvP game.
No.
And with the shield, I saw that question earlier. When they add the vehicle shield and the las gun and the dart gun, and of course, I'm just thinking about names, how they look. Anyway, things are going to change drastically.
Yes.
Because those are only used for PvP. Those are exclusively PvP
Yes.
vehicle modules because you don't need them in PvE.
No.
Yeah, things are going to change again, and people are going to stream again. And
The last,
when you are coming to Dune Awakening just for the PvP, I'm sorry. I'm
This isn't the game for
very
you.
sorry that this game isn't what you were thought it would be, because Dune is always about conflict, but that conflict is not always directly. A lot of the conflict is mostly behind the scenes.
Yes.
The Landsrat.
Yes. For the last year, we've been telling people when they come into the open Discord, and they want.
I'm so sorry.
There's some sandflies that need an orbital strike.
Yes. Those need to be removed from the gene pool, please.
And what's bad is I'm a socialist and I hate those fuckers.
I feel that. I'm absolutely feel that. Maybe even if you don't PvP, just build a rocket launcher with rockets and try to shoot PvE enemies with it. They don't care.
That could be funny. But we said over and over and over, if you're looking for PvP, this will probably disappoint you. This will not be the game for you. We said over and over and over, it's not a PvP game. If you're wanting that, go play Conan, go play Rust, go play Call of Duty or whatever. Fortnite, I don't know, but you're not going to get it here.
I'm going to spill that much. We are going to have very dedicated places where groups can go to and fight it out.
Yes.
And not just, hey, it's PvP free for all, baby. No, we're going to have very dedicated places where you can fight, where you can just fight. But yeah, we don't know when we are going to get that.
Yeah.
If they're going to just drop that out of nowhere, which would be great. And you can maybe drop Act 3, please, Joel, please. Again, I feel like, yeah, the game just released.
Yeah.
And this game is not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also not happy when it comes to PvP things, with a lot of things that I actually wanted to with them about today, but next week.
We have plans.
Yes.
Within plans.
We have plans.
One thing that Ole said last time, and what we've said and many times, and Iggy has said in Discord, and was, it's okay to want those things, but you probably won't find them here, and so this game may not be for you, and that's okay. And people would lose their shit at being told that, maybe you won't like this game, maybe you shouldn't spend your money, and they're like, you can't, that's bad customer service. It's like, no, we're preemptively telling you you're going to be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
So go play the things that make you happy, because this probably won't.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything to that.
We want more. The story has been amazing, and watching it evolve has been a thing.
And for people who didn't follow the story that closely and are already done with everything and didn't get it and are interested in it, next week we are going to start our lore series. And
Yes.
we don't know how many episodes that will be because there's a lot to talk about. And
There's-
hopefully by the time where we explained everything, like that meme, that crazy dude with all the stripes in the back, we will have Act 3.
I think Act 3 will get here before we could possibly finish talking about
Yeah.
how all of these pieces connect together, how the labs come together and fit, and how all of the radios fit, and how
and all the leads that we think are there, but where Joel is probably going to prove to half of them to that's nothing. But awesome.
these are very, very close. Honestly, one feeds into the other. Remember, everything up until actually the start of the book really is in the game. The only difference is, Paul doesn't exist, Arista does, but all of the back history stuff, all of Leto and all those people and all those interactions exist.
And we also know from everything we have picked together. I mean, we have right now we have no place where we can put everything we found. We still have to work on that. From what we can tell, is that Joel didn't just use the original 6 books, but also pick and chose some things from the extended universe.
Yes.
Some names, some people, but we don't know yet how it all fits together and what is actually still follows the original lore. Yeah, it's somewhat like the movies, because the movies are not 100% lore accurate. The movies are also what we know right now. We don't know what the next movie is going to be, but those are very, very close to the actual lore. And from what we can tell right now, yeah, there are some key differences, but we don't know how it's going to be. Oh, I nearly said something from the story, which is a major spoiler.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections that we can talk about how it links back to the books, because they do, and where Joel has taken this tack to make sure that we have a fresh story that isn't railroading us in a way, that we have some autonomy. Even as an RPG, there is some. But there's some autonomy in our choices, and we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know how it's going to proceed, because it has taken a step to the left on the path. This is an alternate path, and we aren't prescient. We're not the Kwisatz Haderach. We can't see.
Do we know that? Do we know that though? Because I'm still. If you want some interesting lore that is not presented to you on a silver platter, I mean, no lore is presented to you on a silver platter. It's some, hey, there's this big thing, but how it's all connected to the West is not presented to you on a silver platter. If you want interesting lore, every trainer, not extended trailer, advanced trailer gives you some pieces of the lore.
Yes.
Which at first is like, okay, that's the thing. Okay. But how is it all connected? And slowly, step by step, you get revealed more. We don't
start putting the pieces together.
Yes. And you can see, okay, that's somehow connected to that, and then, oh, okay, that's not how it looks like. And
you see this big hole in the middle, and you're like,
yeah. And there's still the advanced mentored trainer, which is like, okay, that's somehow connected because of who is somewhat connected to us, but not really. And but the background is somewhat. It's
soon, Bean, soon. The suspense, but yes, this is because the nerd urge is strong. But yes, we'll have news as it comes. There'll probably be some stats and things come down about the patch today.
And we didn't talk that much about the numbers today because those are going to change. We saw that all the time in the beta. You have the first instance of something, and very closely you have multiple patches which are tweaking little things, and those little things might look small in the patch notes. Don't start screaming when the patch notes are released. Please play the game and try it out. Because we had always those people who are just reading the patch notes and going absolutely apeshit. Like,
or they didn't read them at all.
Yes, yes.
I skimmed them, you know. But so there was one that the
who I don't recognize that name.
There was one patch drop that I remember them saying that it was an estimated 45-minute read. Do you remember that one?
Oh yes.
45 minutes of patch. It's just bullet points, man. 45 minutes of bullet points.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that things link back to, and yes.
Overall, I think the game is moving into the right direction. Things are going to change, and things will have to change. Everything we see right now is just a band-aid for all the things they haven't heard about in the past year, which came very surprising to them, apparently. But to be honest, for the most time, they had more important things to do, like fixing the DD 1 week before release. There wouldn't have been the resources to do everything. And
it's triage.
But to be honest, they reacted very quickly.
Yes, they did.
They reacted very, very quickly, which has been a pain point of mine during the beta. They were very slow on everything.
We're trying to be nice.
But overall, the game is moving into a good direction. Some people are pissed off, but if you're pissed off by that, then good luck.
There's always going to be people who are upset with it, but I think especially with a big patch and big change like this one, give it a couple of days. Actually go and engage with the content, and then give actionable feedback. Nothing is permanent, but you got to engage with it to give the feedback to it.
And when it comes to that, just stop playing. Just put stuff into the bank to come back later. Wait a year and come back. Like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, that's not your main game right now, but there are many other games. So I'm sorry, but yeah, maybe that's not your game.
It's a brand new game. Even being in beta, as long as it was, it's still going to be evolving probably for the next 6 to 9 months, very rapidly compared. And it's one of the reasons I'm in no hurry to get started on anything.
A week? Months and months. I don't know if it's fixed yet. I hope so, because this shit I have under control. I know how it works. And the computer would just freeze out of nowhere. Like, how is this possible? And in the end, it wasn't Funcom's fault, but Dune Awakening would just trigger in the driver from NVIDIA some weird behavior, and the PC would go, no.
That's why we had all those patches from NVIDIA over and over and over and over and over.
Oh, we had so many just drivers, beta drivers.
Especially at the end, it was like they were like, "Have you up?" It was like a special thread just for those feedback. Just, have you done the drivers? What's happening? Have you done these drivers? What's happening?
Overall, I think we had 5 or 6 beta drivers, and I looked into one of those beta drivers where you had drivers for GPUs that were not released yet. I go, guys, you might have released the wrong thing, but hey, it didn't seem to leak. So
I'm one of those bad people that I tend to try to update drivers as it prompts me. I don't let them sit unless I know for sure there's a problem with it because, I mean, my OS Windows has been around long enough. I I can usually believe them when they say you need the driver. There's not a unless everybody's going, oh my god, I set my PC on fire. Okay, then I'll wait. There's I can't afford to replace it.
Better to get to manually install the reason is
This explains a lot, actually.
I mean, on release day in the first few days, the game was telling me, hey, you are playing the game from a hard drive. Please install it on an SSD. A hard
Because they-
drive? Are you
yeah.
drunk? Please stop. No, the reason was because I have a server, a NAS, and network attached storage with hard drives, and I have those hard drives linked to my PC. So they show up in Windows. And the game was saying, oh, these are HDDs. Nope. Luckily, they fixed that rather quickly.
I think it was Joel who was saying, just don't even try to put it on.
You're doing something on your desk. Please don't. Thank you.
Sorry. Yours.
Menu because it was beta. Yeah, I mean, those are just
Betaception.
yeah. And I mean, I'm saying it for the 6th or 7th time right now. We are still launch month. It's still launch month.
Yes.
But overall, I think it has been gone great.
Better than
I think
2020 or 20 whatever the Cyberpunk game, the video game Cyberpunk. I can't. Yeah. That was a debacle.
I mean, yes, but that's kind of unfair because you have just chosen the worst possible example. But most live service games
Yes.
don't have a working or even released end game, for example.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is good.
We have some end game, but honestly, I personally have not engaged in it because I'm not interested. I have engaged in it by accident because on my world, I was just killing sandflies and gaining points in the Landsrad. Okay, good. Fucking fireflies.
Yeah. I'm going to say that those are easy. Everybody hates them.
Yes. Well, fireflies, yes, but at the very top, our most hated individual in the whole game.
Yeah. They're not a fun group, and I dread going into labs with them. Camps are hard enough. The camps I can get ranged, you can back up and draw the crowd out. But inside the lab, you're in a tight space.
The main problem with that is Funcom is now pretty experienced with Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
And while the PR of the Unreal Engine is very good, because people think that the Unreal Engine is beautiful and runs perfectly, and when everyone is using the Unreal Engine, world peace would break out. Up until recently, or one of the recent versions, the Unreal Engine runs like shit. It looks pretty. It has some issues with lighting that are very easy. Don't even tell me which engine is used. Put me in a room with a light, and I can tell you which engine is used. Oh, that's Unreal Engine. You can see that. You can see it in an instant. It runs like shit. I have a high-end system as it can get, and I have to turn on some black magic to make everything look better, which is that shouldn't be a thing. I mean, we had one engine update in the very, very beginning of the beta. And after that engine update, everything broke. Everything. It was so horrible. Someday we may... nope, 4090 ain't high-end anymore. Well, a 5090 is just like 6% more performant than a 4090. So No, I don't care.
My machine, though, is a mid machine. And it mostly runs it okay. I bought it right before I got into the beta, before I knew it was going into the beta. I bought it because Conan was making my GPU scream. And, it sounded like a jet engine in here. And so I upgraded to this one. This one's it's a 3060. It's a mid machine. It's nothing. It's not the worst. It's not the best. It's sufficient.
Yeah.
And I can run on high if I want. I mean, it gets toasty in here. I won't. It's fucking hot in here right now. I won't do it.
You're running 4040p or 1080p?
Fuck if I know. I don't remember.
Okay, so
You're asking me
probably
stuff. Default. I'm running default, whatever that is.
Yeah. Okay.
I
mean, when it comes to that, Funcom can only do so much. An engine update is very dangerous because Funcom did a lot of their own stuff to the engine that makes everything not very upgradable. Mine is often when playing at 3060 Ti, but not super bad.
When there's cutscenes, we'll run about 70 to 75 Celsius, but then when you go back into the game, it'll drop down to somewhere between 65 and 72. So it's not like dangerously toasty.
I mean, we talked about that the temperature doesn't matter.
I'm just saying my legs are hot. It's hot in here.
While under 90 degrees, yes.
I know. I'm within parameters, but it's hot in here. It's by my legs, and it's during the summertime. I'm turning this shit down.
You are telling me that I have 3 fucking monitors in front of me.
I can feel the heat coming off of this one.
Fucking beast, which is currently at the water is 37 degrees, and it's very efficient in putting that heat into the air around me. Right now outside it's cooler than inside, but I'm not going to open that door because outside is very loud.
I have trains. Y'all have heard the trains. It's like right the fuck there.
No.
You haven't heard the trains. I'm shocked because there's like a freight train right there and some tracks for the commuter trains, and then the ICE is like right over there, and it's loud.
Mm-hmm.
It's very loud.
Yeah. Okay. I think we are stalling. We are just a little bit of...
Yeah, it's like I don't want to... we're coming done talking, but I don't want to leave yet because we're nerding out. But yeah, we need to wrap it up.
I mean, I would love to talk about the story.
We will. Save it for when we have a...
Okay.
I did work on the gates for the sound, so you shouldn't hear like the fans and the trains so much. So.
No, it's fine. You can hear something quietly in the background, but it's not too annoying. It's absolutely fine. Someday we will get you stuff that's not shit.
I have no budget. Okay. Yes.
Someday we will work on something. I will take care of you.
When we get ready to do stories,
oh yes, yeah.
Absolutely, those will be advertised as this is what we're doing, because I don't want to spoil for people who don't want to be spoiled, but for people who want to dig in and start putting those pieces together, then absolutely, I would not want to accidentally spoil a deep story bit for people who don't want to know that or want to discover it on their own.
No. Absolutely. My idea was, I mean, we haven't discussed anything deeply yet. My idea was that we are going to follow the main story for a while. Just the main story. But we see nothing else. And each time we will say, hey, we are going to talk about this. There are going to be spoilers. If you have already seen this or don't care about spoilers, okay. Stick around. We're going to explain everything and some side stuff we don't know yet. Yeah. And at some point, when we reached the end that we currently have, we're going to talk about everything else, how it's all connected, and we have some theories that mostly follow the same thing, but we have some different opinions how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
No, we're going to do it piece by piece And every time we are going to say, hey, we are talking about this and only this.
Yep. Just again to keep people. We don't want to spoil it for
No.
people who like to discover things for themselves.
No, because I mean, we had that multiple times, and we have finished the main story at least 2 times now. Once in the beta and once now. Strangely, that game, Dune Awakening, has some replayability because after you finish the game and you start over again, you see it everywhere. Like, oh no, it's everywhere.
You're like, how did I not notice this before? Or that's what that radio meant, or that's what that note meant.
Yes. And I also have in my mind some, okay, when we are done with the story, we are going to have just one episode with, hey, do you remember when that was said? And do you remember when that was said?
That means this, and it links to that. And this other person that you didn't realize was connected is actually very much involved.
Yes. Yeah, but we are going to do that. We've been talking about it for a while, and even now, I mean, yesterday when I started a new character, there was that tiny detail that make us absolutely freak out. Like, oh shit! Oh fuck! He knows. He knows, and that's what he meant. And he knew all the time. The whole time he knew.
And
like,
and then the thing happened, and then some more things, and then stuff goes sideways, and more things happen.
Yeah, I mean, we said it multiple times, as always. And I hope they are never going to listen to this because they are very busy right now. The story overall is fantastic.
Yes.
Most of the games, you have a main story and you have some side stories, and the side stories are just, okay, they are not connected to anything. Okay, they are just to keep you busy, to make it seem like there's a lot to do. And I mean, most of the times, it just gives you something to do and something to unlock. So that's nice, but there are story tidbits everywhere.
All of the flavor text for the blueprints. There's some hilarious ones.
Oh yes.
Ones.
There are some very in the second week. Every day I go to the exchange, check out what's going on, and last week, or was it this week? Doesn't matter. I go to the exchange, go through all the categories, see where the prices are, what's happening, blueprints, and I see a blueprint for a las gun. What's it called? The black market las gun. It's going to, hey, las guns on normal las guns don't have this safety mechanic, and because it's a safe gun, a black market las gun, it doesn't have that safety. Except this one has. Good luck. At the very end, one paragraph. Yeah, but this one has the safeguard.
Yeah,
and I mean, that's.
Was it a drill shot that was the penetrator?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
there are tidbits of that everywhere.
With that yo mama joke. It's just like, oh god.
I'm curious how much of the foreshadowing it's a clock because I just want to. I clock because I sometimes grab those in a weird way when my brain just goes between queue, pulling out a crazy meme guy map like thing, and other times it's super oblivious. There are some things in the story that lead you down a wrong path.
Was it the second trial, Beware the Diversion? Shaitan loves wasted effort. Joel was trolling us from the start.
Yeah. And when it comes to the ending of Act 2, you knew before we had the ending of Act 2 you told me, hey, it's probably, you have a feeling it's going to be this. Like, why would it be? Oh shit, it's this. But it's so much worse.
It
It's
is.
so much worse.
It is.
I really want to talk about it. Okay.
We should wrap it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We should wrap up before we hurt you.
3 hours. I'm so sorry. We just the last 60 minutes we've just been rambling and just talking.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry.
I expected more people to show up and complain about the changes, to be honest.
I mean, they're probably on the Discord and Reddit complaining.
Yeah, that's probably like trying to go in and advertise the podcast. It just kind of scrolls back off, but I'm hoping that people want to engage. I mean, it's supposed to be for community engagement. It's supposed to be where we can come and talk about the stuff and learn about stuff and what do people like, what do they don't like, and let's nerd out. And
yeah, I mean, next week we are going to start something interesting.
Okay.
And I don't know how we are going to do it with chat, how we are going to interact with chat, and I hope that chat is going to behave, because I will probably mute people who are spoiling.
Yeah.
We are going to set a very strict, okay, we are going to talk about that part, nothing else apart from that. We are going to talk just about that, because just like you said, we don't want to spoil anyone who wants to find out for themselves. And yeah, but that's going to start next week, probably same time, same day.
I'm good with it. I picked this day this week because of the weather, because this was the coolest day of the week.
Really?
But, yeah, which is saying a thing. We had initially picked Thursday because that was the day that the embargo lifted on the creator stuff from Oslo back in January, which was a Thursday. So it just has been kind of here. But I'm flexible. I think some North American people were like, weekend might work better because the time zone difference. So I can put a poll up in my Discord, ! Discord. We'll give you the link to my Discord, so we can do
someone chat. I mean, we have like a 10-second delay, but no, Mac, not you. You have to train them. You have to train the peasants. Okay? See, that's how it goes. You have to train them. Good work, Presto. You did good. See, and you have to. Yeah. That's how it works. No. Thank you, everyone, for
hanging out for 3 hours. That was cool.
Hanging out for 3 hours. I'm very sorry.
Kilo. I don't even know what she said. It deletes it, and it plays everything she said. Do you see that?
Yeah. Like somehow the bot really didn't like that.
It deleted her stuff and D's stuff last time too. I don't know what they said. It was like ass or something, and the bot just went absolutely ape shit and deleted everything they had said the entire stream. Just nuke.
Absolutely nuked it. Yeah. Thank you for coming by.
Yes.
It was fun. We are going to see you hopefully next week.
Lore is coming soon.
Yeah. And starting next week, we are going to have some structure. I will be here until we are done or have other plans. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. Structure will be helpful too, because we ramble.
I mean, the first week we don't know yet. The first 4 trials, and then and after that, the next 3 and the thing after that, and so maybe a month before I can go full ape shit. Do you see? Do you see how that is? And maybe that is true. We don't know that.
Get the wig with the alien hair. It was aliens.
Aliens. Okay. Okay, we are going to end it here.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming by. See you next week.
Bye bye.